I think
All
so.
right.
Speaking of things that are rock hard.
Like my gut. Rock hard keg. Scrabs.
I actually want to talk to you about kind of some stories that I used to hear growing up in Hawaii.
Alrighty.
I actually have like a book with me about this and stuff. And oh, there it is, right under my notes. Hello. I'm more talking about kind of living rocks or living rock folklore, specifically in Hawaii. And to answer you guys kind of honestly, I write a lot based on things. I write a lot of slice of life, and I write a lot of horror and folklore and mythology things. Sometimes they intermingle.
Well, I mean, you know what they say, write what you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I know. I know music and I know folklore, so I write stuff about that. In Hawaii, there's like a large kind of history about these living rocks, or because Hawaii has this idea of within everything there's kind of spirit, and you know, especially with gods that can take the form of just about anything. It's actually I believe they're called Pohakuloa. It has been years since I A, lived in Hawaii, and B, that I've actually heard anyone speak Hawaiian at me. So if I'm doing that terribly,
I apologize to my Hawaiian viewers, Sony.
Yeah, I'm apologizing to you guys because I was born there, but like I said, it's been a while since I've been around anyone I can actually talk about this stuff with outside of my own kind of folkloric ramblings. Pohaku Kapu. That's what it is.
Sure.
Sacred rocks, essentially. Pohaku is actually like rock, so...
Oh, fair enough then. So it just translates straight to living rock, more or less.
Yeah, well, Pohakaloa is like the god of the rock, basically.
Okay.
A lot of these stories are kind of about people who messed with these rocks in some way, or kind of disturbed them, and bad things happen because of this. Like, if you talk to any kind of person who's lived in Hawaii for a while, or is like native to it, one of the big things they'll be like is, don't take rocks from Hawaii. Do not take from Hawaii. I swear you will get cursed, and your family will get sick, and they will die if you take these rocks from Hawaii.
You can enjoy the rocks, you can look at the rocks and appreciate them, but do
not move them, do not take them and put them in a bag, do not use them as a doorstop.
Yeah, that last one's common sense, especially if there's supposed to be gods.
Well, no,
Put this
it's the thing. It's the thing is that if there's life within any rock, and a lot of times they can be kind of inconspicuous. Or, ooh, look, that's a neat rock that kind of looks like it has a face on it. And these people will kind of move them and stuff, and bad things will happen. A lot of times, what you'll need to do if you have moved sacred rocks from Hawaii and are currently cursed and your family is dying, please contact a kahuna, that is a Hawaiian priest who will take this rock, ask you about where you found it, and then try to place the rock back and appease it with a lot of times, they'll do this before construction stuff on Hawaii, is that they'll actually kind of have a feast and stuff for the local loa, and kind of appease them and be like, hey, we need to move and do this, all of this stuff. Here's a feast in your honor, kind of asking permission and forgiveness for doing this. And a lot of it kind of gels well with a lot of other cultures in the area and stuff, because you got Shinto, you got Buddhism, you got all that stuff, because you have a lot of Asian immigrants in Hawaii too. And there's so the idea as a whole is kind of one that most people agree on. And there are stories about like people who will move a rock who haven't done this in construction, a big heavy boulder, and it will roll back in the middle of where they're trying to construct overnight, and their machines will start having a lot of issues if they're not tore up or flipped upside down, stuff like that. It's pretty wild. I absolutely love stories about them. But the thing is Hawaii isn't the only place that has stories like these. These living rock stories. They do have them, and of course, there's like, ooh, I took a whiz in the middle of the field, and I ended up peeing on a sacred rock, so now I got cursed, and I was having kidney issues until my dad made me tell like a local Hawaiian priest what happened, and then we did a thing to apologize to him. I don't pee in the dark in fields anymore.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But there are a lot of stories of like tourists who are like, yeah, we had to mail the rock back.
Well, if that's what you gotta do, I mean...
Yeah. It's really interesting. There are other places that have stories like this. For example, in Ireland, actually, there is a story about like a rock about hopping rocks. That'll kind of like jump and hop across a field, and kind of there's a place where it kind of struck in a certain place in particular if you followed it, and that's where some hidden gold is and stuff. And there's stories in just North America from various native people of living rocks that move on their own. It exists. There's a lot of stories about these living rocks. I think it's kind of really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of strange though that the living rock story would be this archetype that kind of goes across civilization. You
really think it is?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few like themes like that do carry over through like folklore and stuff, like dragons, for example. But living rock kind of seems like a fairly strange thing to be like, this is what, like, we're all just gonna believe this.
I don't know if it's quite like a Jungian archetype that exists in the universal conscience, but it definitely repeats in a lot of different folklores. I know there's some stories from Africa with this, particularly like Saharan Africa and stuff. I'm terrible with most stuff from Africa because I really don't have a lot of stories from there. I've heard a few. I know some stories of hair from like Ghana and stuff, but I wish I was more informed about it. So if there are people who have stories about this stuff, please let me know. Send me stories from wherever you live. I want to know them.
Yes.
I will genuinely appreciate them.
Yes. If you see Sony at a con, first punch him, then tell him folklore.
Yes, please. Then tell me folklore. Then I will have a super erector set.
It's one of the big ones. It has like
one of the big ones. Big roller coaster.
It's like 400 pieces in it. That actually isn't that much for an erector set, is it?
No, I don't think it is. Like I said, one of the ones you can make a roller coaster out of.
4,000 pieces. That's better, right?
But yeah, send me folklore, give me folklore, tell me folklore, comment with it. I want to know.
Yes, do that. Post in the comments. I will make sure Sahoni finds out.
Yeah, I would love to hear some. But it's kind of a really odd kind of story. Like, you can understand it in some places in Hawaii where there's a lot of active volcanoes and stuff, where, living rock is kind of part of your kind of unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is pretty odd, and I think it's kind of neat. And for those of you who are wondering what book I'm kind of rereading, it's actually the book that got me into collecting folklore. And it's Obaki Files by Glenn Grant. And he is he was a professor of folklore at the University of Honolulu for a while and was kind of a local Hawaiian celebrity. And he did a lot of work for collecting and kind of preserving a lot of traditional Hawaiian stuff, as well as a lot of stories that came over with immigrants and everything. And his dad actually worked on was a sci-fi guy. Like, he would do special effects and things. I think he actually helped make Robbie the Robot.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of a neat fact and stuff.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, I would definitely tell you guys to pick up anything he wrote. He does a really good job because, unlike a lot of folklorists where they try really hard to be kind of clinical and not get engaged with it, he kind of lives the folklore. He treats it as real as the people telling him it to him do. And I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, that sounds like that would be the way to do it, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, but a lot of them, they want to be like, we are an actual science, here's our scientific record, this is what this person said. And they don't actually try to put any storyteller kind of flair to it,
yeah.
I guess.
It's very medical in how it's handled.
Yeah. Which, I can understand that too, but...
Yeah, if it's gonna be like if it's gonna be folklores and legends and stories from old and all that, I would imagine you want to put some flair in the damn thing.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that, as well as kind of recording it as it's told, which he's done both, and he does do both. It's just it's just he. A lot of them try to, a lot of the time when you study anthropology, the first thing they do is kind of, they try to kill off all kind of, I guess, religious and supernatural ideas that you might hold yourself. Which, I kind of get that. They're like, but God is dead, kill it. Which is kind of where that horrible, horrible movie, which is horrible and awful, and you guys should all be ashamed if you actually saw it, that title came from. It's actually a pretty common idea for, like, anthropology and philosophy and stuff. Because, you read and understand and kind of dissect a lot of these things, and for some people that kills a lot of the magic behind it. It's just he somehow found a way to keep it alive and urges other people to do the same. I really respect Glenn Grant. He died a while ago, but he's. I feel like he's generally one of those people that I really look up to. Is the thing.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, because I was actually talking with you before. I don't feel like I hold anyone as a hero, but there are a lot of people that I respect.
And he would be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, pick him up, guys.
Fair enough, then.
Yeah. I respect him a lot. Pick him up. He's an absolute Hawaiian treasure.
Well, I mean, don't literally pick him up because that's grave robbing, and that's very disrespectful.
Well, he was all for taking students to graveyards and stuff for ghost hunting.
Not rob his grave.
Yeah, don't rob.
Can be less cool with that.
You will be cursed.
You'll have to mail rocks back to Hawaii.
It's a whole big deal. Also, don't take pork through tunnels, but that's another story for another time.
Pork through tunnels?
Yes. That is another story for another time, good sir.
Alrighty then.
I believe it's one of your subjects now.
It is one of my subjects, and this is one I think you're gonna want. I think you wanted to get in on a little bit because I showed you one of their videos, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good.
Yes, we're gonna do this one. This is one of the more random things that Wikipedia gave me to talk about because it just felt like doing this. The thing that actually came up was the album White Bread Black Beer. Was the album that
Are you serious?
that's what it's called. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god, that totally fits this movie.
Was made in 2006 by the band. I'm gonna say this wrong and weird. Scritti Politti is what it looks like it's read as.
Yeah.
But it was made in 2006, and the lead singer of this band, the frontman, is a man named Green Gartside. He's the only member of the band who's been permanent throughout its existence. He had terrible terrible panic attacks actually that kept him from being on stage because of stage fright. But when this album came,
why are you heading to band?
because he is. That's why. But they kind of stopped doing things for a while, but then they made this album. That was back in 1980. Actually, he had this panic attack that made him stop doing things. They made this album to see okay, are you feeling better about this? And he had no panic attack, so I guess he got over it.
Good.
So that's cool. He got over panic attacks for his music. That's cool.
Okay.
And they are 80s as hell.
Okay. No. Let us step back. We both watched the video to Scritti Politti's Absolute. And I hope you put this in the description.
It certainly will be, don't worry. I already have that in the notes.
Okay. I have so many things to talk about this video. So many feelings and emotions.
These are always good when you have those.
Okay. The first thing you notice about the Scritti Politti when this video starts is, first of all, they sound like an early, non-mainstream Disney movie kind of song that animated movie song that they'll play in the credits and stuff, but from the the early to mid 90s. Yeah, the Goofy movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound exactly like that. So already not feeling them. This song grew on me though. I do have to admit, after watching it 4 times in a row to get through this nonsense.
You watched it 4 times? I watched it twice. That was it. Once to see what the blue hell, and second time before this to refresh my memory on what the blue hell.
Okay, the music video starts with this it's dark and there's some trees and there's the guy's singing, and then the pans down and here's this dork with long blonde slicked back kind of slicked back, kind of floofy. It doesn't really know what it wants to do.
Hey, he is an attractive woman. It's not my type at all.
The ugliest 80s ass windbreaker and jogging suit thing combo on this planet. It's not even some bright neon colors. No, it's dull. It looks like something you probably find at the Goodwill.
It's faded blue.
It's white on top, pale blue, and then dark blue pants. It's terrible. It looks like you find something covered in mysterious brown dirt and dust. And when you're cleaning up camping gear, it's that bad. And he's in ski boots. It
looked like ski boots.
I do not know what these are, which brings me to the greater point of he is the most ridiculous person there, sure, but everyone in this video is awful. There is someone literally in like dusty rags in the video. They're really, everyone has the most terrible clothes, and they all look like way too hot and just not happy to be there. Like they've been there all day in this hot, sweaty room, and they're being shouted at to dance better. And
they
don't. They don't. They're all terrible dancers.